Do you want to live a life of freedom and adventure? Are you wanting more than the daily grind? Me too. Welcome to the EMMA LOVELL Show, a place where we talk about living a life you love now. I'm your host, Emma Lovell, and my number one value is freedom. I've spent the last 14 years running a business and traveling the world, and now I take my husband and toddler along for the adventure too. It's possible, and I know you can create a life doing what you truly love as well. This podcast will inspire, motivate, and encourage you to go after your dreams, to create a life you love and to live it now, not wait for retirement or someday in the future. I'll be sharing episodes weekly about how I harmonize business, travel, and self-care. I'll also bring on incredible guests to share their journeys, the wins, the challenges, and how they're creating a life they love. Let's jump in and get dreaming. This is a space for you to manifest a life you love. I would like to acknowledge and recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the first peoples of this place, now known as Australia. I am grateful for the continuing care of the land, waterways and skies where I work, live, listen, learn and play. From here on Yugambeh country and from wherever you are listening, I pay my respects to the elders past and present. Hello and welcome to the EMMA LOVELL Show. I am your host, Emma Lovell, and I am the pleasure coach. So I help people to combine business, travel, and self-care to live a life they love now, to harmonize those elements so that you can do more of what you want and have the freedom that so many of us seek. Today, I'm going to be talking about giving from the overflow. And this is something that my kinesiologist taught me, and I really loved when I learned about it. And it's kind of around abundance, and it's around I also want to lean into kind of a generosity and karmic kind of feeling about work and business and life. And when you're coming from an abundant place, you're happy to give. But she first told me about it when I needed to practice more self-care. And it's that whole fill your cup, make sure your cup is full, or, fill up your cup. And the problem was that I was letting my cup go low, my energetic cup and my life cup. But then I was topping up a little bit and then pouring from that again. So you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, I would top up a little bit and then just go, okay, I can give some of that away again. And so she said, we want your cup to be so full that it's overflowing and you can give from the overflow. And I just loved that philosophy and that picture, if you will, of almost a waterfall, that like this cup is so full, it's gushing over the sides and cascading down. And that's the stuff that you can give because you're so full, you're so satiated, you're so topped up, doing all the things that you need to do. And that could be just financially. So it's a great thing for financials. So I tend to be very generous and giving and charitable, but also wanting to help other people, wanting to support other businesses, and potentially at times haven't really had all of my reserves topped up. And at one point my dad said, you're acting like a philanthropist and you're in your 20s, someone who would in their 50s be doing this sort of thing. So learning to build your own foundation, that doesn't mean being a Scrooge and holding all the money to yourself or anything like that, but you can't give from what you don't have. And that goes for energy, that goes for love, that goes for all that sort of stuff. And so often I was giving from a very low tank. Giving from financially, giving energetically, giving care. And when you are going through sort of a difficult time, then you tend to top up the tank, but you can quickly let it go again. So giving from the overflow is such a beautiful thing to hold in your mind about self-care, is that we need to do all the things we love, not only self-care, but like what lights you up. For me, it's travel. And so that doesn't mean I just do enough to keep me going. I need to have travel in my life. It means love, it means nurturing, it needs support. I don't just get enough to get by. I get more than I need. If anything, more than I need, because if I have more than I need, then I can give to others. And In terms of that self-care, though, it's doing things that you enjoy, things that light you up. And that could be as simple as having baths, reading a book, getting enough sleep, having a day binging your favorite shows. That can all be what you need. A day out with friends or multiple days with friends. And so often we need more rest than we think we do. Again, I top up the tank a little bit. I get my little, I don't know, half a day or a day, and I go, yep, I'm good again. And I need so much more. But the other way that I want to think about giving from the overflow, and it does lean into that business side, is it's an approach that I have to business, which is just that there is always more than enough. There's plenty of pie, there's plenty of seats at the table, there's plenty of for everyone. And that doesn't mean I don't feel envy or jealousy or things like that when I see someone doing well, and it just is such a treat, like it can trigger me. But it's a way to say, oh, actually, I want what they're having. I want some of that. How do I get some of that? I don't want to take that from them, and they're not taking it from me. They've got it, and I would like some of it too. And it's totally possible for me to have it too. I wrote a book, and on the shelf there are, how many have I got? Like 30 books maybe, and then probably another 20 in another room, and I've got 5 on my table here. It's not just, oh, well, somebody else wrote a book, now I can't write a book. We love libraries. I want a wall full of books. I've got a cabinet full of books. I want a wall full of books, of lots of different people's books, as well as my own. And so just because somebody's doing something doesn't mean there's not enough for you. There's overflow, there's more. And when you've been through an experience or had something, I want to share from that. So for me, I don't think, oh, I've written a book, now nobody else can, and I'm going to keep that for myself. Or, oh, I've got these clients and I'm just going to keep getting more clients and nobody else can have clients. I come at from a generosity, and I think that I want to do well in my business. I want to be abundant. I want to have so much that I can help even more people than I'm already helping. And I know that from that place of being topped up and filled up, I can do more. And so building that foundation. But unfortunately, I've had the experience, I'd say in the last year, it's probably happened more, but where I've really seen that competition over collaboration, or just that scarcity and lack, that there's only so much to go around. There's only so many clients, there's only so many opportunities, and this sort of unwillingness to share and unwillingness to pay it forward. And it's just not the approach that I live by. I very much have an abundant mindset. There's always going to be more. Probably where my not, filling the cup and holding some in the cup, because I think I can give it because there'll be more coming. There'll be more, so I can give it. I'm trying to work on that, like I said, storing some up for myself, keeping more in the tank so that I can have even more to give. But me having doesn't take away from someone else. You having good energy doesn't take away from someone else's good energy. You having good work doesn't take away from someone else's good work. And so I share, especially in my retreat business, but also in this business. And I had this funny query 2 months ago in an interview where I was talking about how I've lived this life of pleasure and I want to share it with everyone. And this man said, but don't you want to keep it all for yourself? And I was like, absolutely not. What's the point in that? I don't understand what the point would be, just to have all this wonderful knowledge and experience and not want to share it and not want to have people come along with me on the journey. And the same in my retreat business. I give very generously, I share very openly, because I want to see other people out there running retreats profitably, hosting amazing, transformative experiences, quality, incredible, nurturing experiences for their groups, and being rewarded abundantly for that. And so I share that generously. And I really expect, and it is in my manifesto and it is in our values of the business, that people would also pay that forward. And so that to me is giving from the overflow. You've already got the information. You've already got the goodness. You're already doing the thing. Well done, you. And so now you can share that on, and you can pass that on, and you can help others. And why would you not want to pay that forward? Why would you not want to share the gifts that you have? Not all of it. I'm not saying give over everything and surrender your business and sacrifice all your income and give it to somebody else. That's martyrdom and it's not going to work. But you can give from the overflow and be generous and share. And generosity, abundance, collaboration, community, paying it forward, kindness, overflow, that is values of both my retreat business and my pleasure business. So I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm going to continue to give generously. I'm going to make sure to keep practicing what I preach and peach, of topping my tank up and making sure that I'm nurtured and okay and I've got some good foundation, but I'm always going to give from the overflow. I'm always going to give and share that flow of goodness. I just think that's the way the world works. That's the way the world can turn around. And I hope that you listening can take some of that for yourself to fill up your cup so much that you've got some overflow. And then when you do, that you can pay that forward. And whether that be in a life sense, in a business sense, in a love sense, in a whatever that way looks for you, that you can give generously because of all that you've received. This was a personal one. This really hit me hard around that. And yeah, I just think those are principles to live by. And so living a life I love looks like sharing generously, bringing people along for the ride. And if you're in any of my programs, my course, you're in my coaching sessions, I will give you everything I've got. I will share everything I know. I'm a wide open book, excuse the pun. I will tell you as much as I know because I just want to see you win and see you succeed. And I'll be right there traveling along with you. If you'd like to know more about how to work with me, you can head to emmalovell.au. I think the best place for that is the Pleasure Life Plan. You can learn more about that at thepleasurelife.au / actually, I think pleasurelife.au works. That's fine. Let's just keep it simple. You can find out more information on the website too. You can always send me a message, emma@emmalovell.au, and all the links will be in the notes as well. If in doubt, search Emma Lovell and the Pleasure Coach and you'll probably find me. So just final thought to share and to think about today. How can you create overflow and how can you give from the overflow? Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening, lovely one. I hope this has inspired you to dream big and start creating a life you love today. If you love what you're hearing, don't forget to follow and rate on Spotify and rate, review and subscribe on iTunes. It helps other awesome people to find this podcast and get motivated and inspired as well. Want to stay connected? Come and join the Live a Life You Love group on Facebook or connect with me on Instagram, emmalovell.au. The same as my website, but all the details are in the show notes, lovely. I'll see you next episode for more inspiration, motivation, and freedom seeking. Now go out there and live a life you love.